Okay, so a little bit more on this whole thumbwheel building business. So I'd gotten to talking to Craig from Craig's Workshop about some alternative ideas, and he brought up a couple of things that I hadn't considered before. One of the things he mentioned I'd thought about last night, which was making a stopper for to locate one edge of the thumbwheel blanks, and I kind of put that together last night before I'd ever gotten his message. But something else he'd mentioned was using a parallel. And while I can't use a parallel per se, if I were to put drill a hole into a blank and put it under there, something that will actually take the same radius as the blank that I'm using, that I could definitely do. And then no matter how far I rotate it, the slots that I'm cutting into it are not going to interfere with the vertical spacing of it. So that's definitely going to be something I'm going to employ the next time I run it on the shaper. Another thing he had suggested was a pointer, which I hadn't thought of either. That will allow me to set it farther down in the jaws, because before I was just indicating, I don't know if you'd call it indicating, but indexing it off of the jaws, aligning my marks with the edges of the jaws. So with a pointer, I can push it down in farther and just leave a little bit of it stuck up. But anyways, that's not even the best part. So this is another crazy ass idea I had, and right now it's just proof of concept. So this is a fuzz on the sketchy side. I need to actually rig up some proper stuff to hold this in place. Come on, focus, focus. Follow my hand. Follow my hand. There we go. Anyways, it came to I realized that I might be able to do this on a press. It's kind of like a low-speed knurling sort of scenario anyways. So that's what I've been tinkering with very cautiously. But anyways, I'll give you guys a quick run-through on this. This is by no means the way that it should actually be done, but this is just a crude attempt to make sure that it's even remotely viable before I spend the time putting anything else into this. So right now all I'm using is this hardened chisel, which of course is a really, really bad idea, but I didn't want to spend a bunch of time screwing around with it, or screwing around with making bits and pieces for it until I knew it had some reasonable chance of working. So you'll see why I'm using this here in just a second, because it's going to pop it right out of there very shortly. Just like that. Alright. But it is actually effective. Let's see if I can get this to focus in here. They're poorly aligned at the moment, but it is definitely dimpling the surface of this. There it is. So I need to manufacture some dies and whatnot, dies and a fixture to hold this particular thing in place. But this has got merit, and it could be extremely quick, at least on these smaller thumb wheels. Now granted, of course, this is steel, but if I were to use aluminum or brass or something, this would be, quite a bit easier. And you can see why it's a little on the sketchy side right there. So once I get some more hardware situated for this, I think this may wind up being the ultimate way that this gets done for me, because I've got it in my mind to make all kinds of thumb wheels for projects, because it's just a really, really good way to secure some of the things I want to do. And far be it for me to spend the money buying them on Amazon when they're dirt cheap, when I can make them. That would just be crazy, right? So anyways, yeah, you can see it's... So don't try this at home, okay? Enough said. I will get this rigged up in a better, safer fashion in the future and try this again farther eventually.